You are listening to Let's Go, the weekly anime podcast about weekly anime from Dynamite in the Brain and Secret of the Sailor Madness. So come along and hang with the Let's Go gang. It's Dwayne.
Hello.
It's Niall.
How are ye?
And it's me, Brian, who's almost free of his cough as long as he sleeps in the right position.
Yes.
Doesn't sleep in the right position, you're back to coughing your guts up like I was yesterday.
Yum.
Yep. If we can, at least I'm not in the Delicious in Dungeon universe. They might not eat my guts if I coughed it up. This episode, it depends whether I killed one of them or not in the past. In this episode, we are covering anime that ends the week of January the 13th to January the 19th, 2024, starting with something we didn't. Akuma-kun, episode 10, Celebration, is the Christmas episode.
Yay!
We could have had this. If only we were greedy. Just jumped ahead.
Yeah.
Particularly because this is an episode where it's a lot of teenage strop.
I was fully sure they were. I mean, like, because of all the monsters and spirits and spriggans and ghosts and shit, I figured they were going to do like a Christmas Carol or something. Because he was like, "Oh, I don't believe in Christmas. Oh, it's not even Jesus' birthday. Wah, humbug!" And everyone going like, "Fucking stop being such a cunt, man. Come on."
Oh, he's fucking one of those guys who totally actually Frankenstein is the name of the doctor, not the monster. It's like, oh,
he specifically fucking did that in this show, and I was so mad at him for doing it. So he is that kind of guy.
He's naturally that way for insane. Well, it's probably just like a picking fast for the Christianity took over. Like, it was happened to coincide with this dates anyways. Thank you very much. It's like, oh god, this. But there's a lot of wistful reminiscence, and
yeah.
There's a way to get through to him, like through his stomach, like any good young boy. And that's the medium of what you can be when genuine about one things, This is kind of convergent releasing. We're seeing his contrasted in relationship to kind of like we're seeing a bit more of Akuma 1 and Mephisto 2 back in the day. Now fun. Okay, now you are our son, so you gotta take up the family business together. We're passing the business over to you, so get acquainted.
Like he's not quite passing down his cape and top hat. It's like, I'll give you your own cape and top hat because
one that fits.
Like yeah, because you're small, like the way that I used to be. But then I grew up when I became an adult and married your mother, who loves me very much, and she's getting increasingly drunk during this family dinner. All right, this is getting awkward. We're gonna have to wrap this up pretty quick.
The mother is the original Akuma-kun's sister.
Yeah.
Who is named after Shigeru Mizuki's daughter.
Yeah. That's a twisted web.
Well, I think we can see the man himself a little later on, some facsimile thereof, as how do you get through to Akuma-kun if how to get to the 8-year-old, it's just fucking like his hotcakes, not pancakes, hotcakes, and it's just like, what do you think these ones we're having right now? It's just like, oh well, these are like 19th best ones. No, top 20, not bad. Well, like, what are the best ones you ever had? It's got some attachment to there, as this best bit at the end, well, the second best ones were the ones that Mephisto 3 made. It's just like, oh, okay, you do have friends, but the first best ones are the ones that, what? Nothing. Good night. He's just like, oh, is it the ones your dad made for you? I bet. We're even never going to say it.
Seems to be the implication. He can admit that he likes his friend to his dad, but he can't admit that he likes his dad at all to his dad. So, yeah, we're still stuck there.
And then at that restaurant, there's like a nice old gentleman next to him. One saying, I heard the guys talking about fucking pancakes or hotcakes there, and I got you an extra order of these. Like, on the house, you have it away there. One saying, oh, we couldn't. It's just like, nah, man. What you gotta do is gives him some very nice life advice about the kind of feelings to have at this time of year and that, and the fun saying, oh, thanks for that, sir. And what's your name? Oh, Mr. Fella around to call me Mizuki. Thank you very much. We're taking my leave now.
Yeah.
Beautiful. He gave us a cool scar over his eye for us. Yeah, I'm going to be a badass in my comic.
After
you draw it, you get to pick. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, normally he draws himself as without the arm. But similarly, the dad in the 89 anime is also him. He's again, he has both arms, and
Yeah.
but he's a failed manga artist or a struggling manga artist. Is the dad in the '89 anime?
So he put his self-insert in as a failure when he's actually quite a success. That's very funny and very like him. Yeah, okay.
Well, like exploring this, like, this parallel life it could have happened, you know.
Sure.
That's one way to look at it. What if I didn't make it? I think it would go a little something like this.
Yeah, it's not the only supernatural thing is our villain cackling and opening a giant eye at the end of the episode.
Yes, because much like again, like an anime Christmas episode, it's all of wistful reminiscences, and hopefully we're going to reach across these bonds of our hearts and all that, and then at the very, very end, crucial plot drop happens. It's like, oh yeah, it wasn't just a little kind of bit of fluff. We're going to actually want to lay down some shit here.
Then we got Detective Conan, episode 1110. Takagi and Date and the Notebook Promise, part 2.
Not even the highest number episode we have this week.
No.
Nope.
A new contender has arrived. So, follow the plan. I can't remember how do they lure him out of the car? They
your man is sitting in the freaking the guy you can go on a date with on Netflix. What the fuck is his name?
Ray,
oh my god.
Ray, yeah.
Ray is disguised as the guy by wearing like a red dicky bow. He's wearing Conan's dicky bow because you need to wear a red tie. That was part of the thingy. And so your man kind of like he gives him the nod. And it's like, all right, fucking. And your man's just like excited, like, oh, I've been waiting a year to fucking get paid for this. And he sees the guy cop and who else leaves? Someone leaves before him.
Yeah, he takes the bag and then gets stopped by Sato, who's like, "Can we have a word with you, sir?" And then he legs it.
Well, he pepper sprays her and then legs it.
Yes, pepper sprays it and legs it. So
she's running after him while pepper sprayed, but she's like, "Conan, get that kid out of the fucking car!" Like while I'm fucking chasing this guy.
And Conan's surprised that the car is unlocked. And
kid isn't tied up or anything, but we knew that from him hand signaling the last day. So he's like, why didn't he run away? Oh shit. Also, you're like a Canadian kid, and this is like, let's just work out the details using my limited knowledge of French, or like he knows entirely French.
Takagi and Sato will go in the direction the guy went. He could only go in 2 directions from here. So Sato will take her car, Takagi will take a taxi. And they'll go in that direction while Conan tries to figure out where this kid's been held kidnapped. He figures out, there must be another kid being held kidnapped.
Because that kid didn't run away, because if he ran away, I'm going to hurt your other kid friend who was kidnapped. And they're like, oh shit. So yeah, they have like 3 cars on the go. The 2 detectives and the restaurateur who absolutely is not a part of the police department and has
driving his car. This will be a very important plot point by the end of the episode.
Yeah,
is that Sato and him are driving their cars.
So they're going in like different directions or the main routes. It's just like, all right, you guys just drive, and I'm going to find out using the context clues, because he didn't see anything. Because he was lying in the back of the car. But it's like, where is the Moroccan embassy or something like that? Is what they end up finding. It's near that.
Yes.
Or was it a Turkish restaurant or something? I can't remember. It was something like that. It
was a Turkish restaurant specifically.
Okay, that was it. Yeah. Oh yeah, because it was he thought it was a croissant, and it was the moon on the flag. Yeah, I remember that.
At a school with a swimming pool on the roof. The guy was trying to disorientate him because they'd go up to the top floor each time they left the building, and then down into the basement parking.
So it's a like, and all these context clues is like, all right, so there's only this many buildings that elementary schools that have a pool on top. There's a bunch of them in town, but we know the room is facing this direction. We know it's not on the 1st or 5th floor, so it must be on the 4th floor, because elementary schools don't go higher than floor 3 where they have the swimming pool. And I was just like, for safety reasons, I was like, Jesus Christ! And eventually they figure out the Turkish restaurant. part as well.
Yes. And the important part for the viewer is you're getting some education, because this kid's from France, so every so often when he doesn't know the Japanese word for something, he says the French word, and then
Yeah.
all the detective boys go, "What does that mean?" Or they mistake it for the way that word's used in Japanese.
Mm, mm,
And Conan has to explain them. No, he's French. This means this in France.
mm,
Um, yeah. So the other kid was a kid who'd borrowed this kid's football and had to.
He
He went to a
snuck
different.
over on the train to
Yes,
return
because he
his
moved to a
French
different
football.
school and taken
And
it.
see, that was the thing that was thrown him as well. It's like, we only got one missing kid for a fucking year. A reported thing is like, oh, he's from a different town, but close enough that he could have taken the train in, not tell his parents, hand back the football, and get kidnapped along with this fucking kid. So he had what missing kid posters in a different fucking police district, basically.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
they rescue the kids. They bring in the kidnapper. He doesn't even get a name. And the big brother, who's all of, I don't know, he doesn't seem that much bigger than the kid who's been kidnapped, wants to know where the other detective was who promised him that he'd rescue his brother.
And this
they
is like
lied.
when our guy what's the guy detective who went
Wataru
with
Tatagi.
Taggy, he's kind of, the guy's like, all right, fucking, like, if you go anywhere, I'm gonna fucking murder this kid. I'm gonna throw him into traffic. And the guy's like, oh yeah, fucking try it. I killed your fucking boss, and I'm gonna kill you too,
Yes.
because I'm a dirty cop. And he's trying to rile him up, and then you hear, let's say, oh, the camera pans away. You hear a single punch, and it cuts back to them. They both like beat the shit out of each other. It's just like, he did the tough guy thing, just not the way he wanted to do it. But he lived true to the toothpick having tough guy cop trope, I guess, that he
Yes.
became a man that day, I guess.
Yes, you can always remember Wataru Takagi's name, because he's the guy played by Wataru Takagi. Yeah.
Right.
I think he played a different character, and then they named the character after him for him to play all the time.
It just saves time. It just saves time.
Yep. And then everything's wrapped up, and then Sato's talking to Ray, and she's like, "Oh, you got the same car I've got. Are you sure we haven't met before?" Yes, no, definitely haven't met before. I'm just a humble restaurateur. I'm a waiter at a restaurant. And then Conan's like, "Yeah, but you're really a public security agent, public safety agent." And then we get a little flashback of him graduating, and Sato and her friend have come to the police academy to learn how to if
I assume they're
enrolling
there
is
to see your man graduate, and he's just like, "Hey, if you're interested, fucking, you should sign up. It's the way of justice and thing." It's like, oh wait, is he the guy who convinced her to be a cop? And she's now a detective, obviously. So
yeah,
it all ties up.
Get to see their connection, and yeah, that's. I guess the wiki says it's Yubi in the flashback, so that's one of the traffic cops.
Right.
Yeah, so nothing massively advanced in terms of plot, but it is it's a fun little bit of detective work that Conan does. It's like all the visual clues. It's the typical kidnapping thing of like, what can you tell from the drive that will get us to where you were being held?
It was definitely more interesting than, it's like, you need to arrange the suitcase in this specific configuration. I was like, do you though? Because I mean, like, they basically faked putting the money into the bag. Like, Ray was just miming it because there was a bush in front of the window, so he could easily do that. You know, that bit wasn't that necessary, basically. Yeah.
And then back to the wait for the next canon one. Though I was surprised that the next non-canon episode is called the Rube Goldberg Machine rather than Pythagoras Switch or whatever, the Japanese reference.
Maybe they've already done that. Like, it seems like after 1,000 or so episodes, they probably
they have used that already. Eventually they'll get to, God, I can never remember the British guy's name who did the similar thing.
I know the thing you're talking about, but yeah.
So that was Conan. Then on to things Niall can talk about. It's Mashal, Magic and Muscles, the Divine Visionary Candidate Exam Arc, Episode 2, Mash, Burn Dead, and the Home Visit. So the first half of the episode is they broker a deal to not execute Mash for not having magic. despite that one guy in glasses really want to execute him.
The
Like, even the
principal
judge-
comes in. He says, "Oh, boys will be boys." But
I
he's
respect your
convinced.
opinion, principal, but rules are rules, and rules say we kill him on the spot right fucking now. But so the judge has to go. It's like, hey, he just saved me from the Innocent Zero, so he's our one lead on Innocent Zero. It's like, rules are rules. We need to kill him on the spot. It's like, all right, as the judge, I get to postpone his trial because he saved my life, even though that seems like a conflict of interest. But still, that's the rules. And your man's like, okay, for now, I'm all right with it. Technically, it's
I haven't
fine.
killed somebody in weeks. Come on, you gotta give me this one.
So
All he's got to do is become the candidate for the Divine Visionary.
that's his one stipulation. He will go by the rule if you become the Divine Visionary candidate. Mash is like, is that it? Because I was going for that anyway. So yeah,
But
okay.
also, Mash has a thing to add to it is that I will fight innocent Gyro, because he mispronounces.
yeah.
Innocent hero. Delicious evil sandwich.
Yeah. And then the rest of the episode is the kids goofing off in town and then goofing off at home.
Yep.
While Al, the spectacled asshole, goes to speak to the head of Orca House to encourage them to attack Mashal before I don't think they call it. Do they call it a tournament yet? It's going to be a tournament.
It's a tournament. The Divine Visionary exam is basically what they're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on, I gotta get something else. Yeah, I'll take the job.
Yeah, it's some good bits where it's just the idea of like rules are rules, and rules of this school is you can attack other students for legitimate reasons apparently. So it's fine.
You can challenge someone to a duel, I guess.
Yeah, we have established that, I guess, with the little tokens and everything. So yeah.
Margaret Macaron, who I believe in Volume 9, from looking at the wiki, it is clarified that they are non-binary.
Yeah.
That's why they are.
Kind of got that.
Yes, I think it's clearer in the dialogue translation here. I think because they know that ahead of time now.
Yeah. It's more kind of clear with it because like the difficulty is like, is this character non-binary or are they a weirdo? And the answer is yes. On both accounts, everyone in the show is a fucking weirdo.
They're also the toughest kid at school.
All of them are the toughest kid at school. That's fine as well. Yeah. I liked Mash's dad / granddad. Still unclear on that situation because it's weird. It was just like, oh my god, you've got friends and a fiance and an enemy, and it's just like he's just like he's overwhelmed with.
I was best friends / rival. It's no big deal. They all start going off. Then it's just like, he goes over to Finland. I see you're the normal one. Yes, they do go on, don't they?
Dear.
Yes, because they've gone shopping for a new wand for Lance, but Mash is the one who comes away with the new wand because he's able to pick up the incredibly heavy wand which has been stuck on the floor of the wand shop for.
You'd have to have some sort of magical muscles to lift this very heavy wand. And Mash is like, all right, I'm going to give it. And everyone's like, don't fucking say that to him. Ah, Jesus, he's already going to get it. All right, here we go. So, yep.
Plus
exactly what you think is going to happen happens. It's funny. Yeah.
Yeah, he unblocks the elf water, which apparently helps you make wands.
So we're upgrade material. Yeah.
The guy's very happy this has happened, and so let's Mash keep the wand for free.
And he will use that thing as well. It's like, I think it's just like, oh yeah, we did this for this guy, but it is something that, like, doesn't get forgotten about.
Yeah, I mean, it's the perfect wand for him.
It's the perfect one for a jacked teenager. So yeah.
What if it's just fucking Mjolnir? He can
yeah, essentially. Yeah.
And then we did get Margaret coming into the woods and he's stopped by Rain.
Margaret and their cronies, who two other musical note scared students, are kind of like, what was that fucker's name that we're going to fuck up? Was it Mash Bernadette? All right, let's fuck him up. And then a bunch of swords rain down on him. It's like, oh, it's because I said it out loud. All right, let's fucking go then, son.
You gotta think, but like, he's only like, a prefect of the dorm. How tough could they be if they gotta send this dude after him? Like, oh.
Yeah.
I like the bit where Rain has a flashback that isn't relevant to the reason why he's standing up for MASH. And also the bit where who has a flashback and then Finn can see the flashback and goes, what was that flashback all about?
Good Lemon. Oh, we Lemon off now on delusion.
Yeah,
Lemon's the main character.
I like that all the stuff which works very well as breaking the fourth wall in the comic works just as well in the cartoon.
Yeah.
This one had a little like less like pace to it than the previous one. But I suppose it was like throwing a lot of different like things there because it was kind of rounding off the last episode, to be honest. So it was kind of a little bit uneven.
We got a lot of fun character interactions and jokes, so it's a lot worth it. Yeah.
Still covered more than 3 chapters worth of materials though, so
okay.
So I think it's probably was similarly paced. It's just those were quieter chapters.
Yeah, and it's just like it's just lots of them just fucking around in town or fucking around at home. So how much time do you really need?
The darts where you're making a koala sneeze and it fires its frozen snot.
I'll play that game.
Yeah, and turning up in full plate mail.
This is what you wear at a casual friend's trip, right?
Or showing up to a casual thing and with your ab wheel, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Then we've got High Card, episode 14, Truth of the Hero, in which our heroes are sent to recover a card from a self-made superhero.
I got a weird feeling this one, man. Are our heroes the bad guys? It's like, yeah, probably. They work for the government.
Hey, who I think is the bad guy is the right-hand man of the dad.
Yeah.
He's deeply suspicious.
Well, he's calling his power, which is kind of like, until we get all the cards and then you return it, right? That's the plan, right?
I tell you about his older brother, Emma's. It is like, don't you talk to him. He's the president. I don't care if you're his brother. I'm his assistant. That's a deeper than blood ties ever to go. You're a bit protective of this dude, and it's usually if you're turning us upon and saying, don't let your emotions come into this. Just bring in these scum and bring the cards back. I don't care what their sub story is.
Even they appear to be storing the cards in some sort of alternate side pocket dimension, which I was like, what the fuck is the deal with that?
Central dogma from Evangelion or something.
Yeah, there's some weird fucking shit happening there.
There's a big basement. Well, you see, it's an outside shot of the big like Pinnacle Group skyscraper, and you see, top office. It's just like to go behind the bookcase. No, it couldn't possibly. Maybe like the whole interior of that building is just that.
Just office, the big hole.
The reception in the first row is just at the front. No one actually works in this place.
Yeah, Owen Aldays is the secretary.
Okay.
What kind of card pun is that?
Don't know.
Probably isn't one.
Our cop is investigating the person she saw, and turns out to be a dead 13-year-old girl.
Oh, she's alive.
Also, her not the chief, the guy, the detective ahead of her.
Greg.
Yeah, Greg's. Well, he's not okay. He's not grand. He's in hospital, but he is in the intro, like heavily fucking plastered up. So I assume he's gonna be okay.
He looks that way on most days because he's usually getting into
He always looks like shit. So
step back from this, girly. Leave this to High Card. He always gets caught in the crossfire and blown up.
Poor bastard. But yeah, she's got a lead in the case, and the lead is that person you're looking for is a dead 13-year-old who died years ago, and it's just like, well, that doesn't really fucking help anything. So great. Meantime, the lads have to go to
what looks like the Mont-Saint Michel.
Because you get to see the airport, and there's all kinds of places. Like I assume Hudson is New York or something like that, but this is Magic Rose.
It's from Mont-Saint Michel. You see the whole thing in there, like it's like a very popular like anime location or background to kind of pull from. It has another bad day getting blown the fuck up in this.
It's also related to this is where the king did the thing with all the cards or something like that. So you get a lot of pilgrims coming to
We
it.
did a royal flush. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then they worship the wizard here. Is that who
Sorry,
they
the
were?
wizard. Yeah.
Yes. And then a mysterious man in a cloak tells Finn the secret truth about the fairy tale.
I think one of my favorite parts of that is Finn has to be told the fairy tale by your man. And Finn's like, "Wow, I didn't know that." And then some random cloak stranger, he's like, "Did you know this fucking thing?" And your man's like, "That's bullshit." So immediately Finn tries to use his newfound knowledge to sound smart, and is immediately called a fool. So I was kind of like, "What? Okay, mysterious stranger. You're saying that the knights actually did all the heavy lifting with the magical cards that were suited to their abilities, not the wizard." Okay.
Not the king. No,
Not the not the king. I keep mixing up the king and the wizard.
This is
Sorry.
where
Yeah.
it is the king. Yeah. The
Yeah.
wizard made the cards.
Yes.
According to this guy, the wizard made the cards. The 52 knights swore a blood pact to the card to get its power. And then, but in the story, to fend off invaders, but in the story that is told to children in Foreland, it was the king who used the power of the knights in the cards himself to fend off.
So you're loyal to the monarchy and not to the working man. All right, gotcha. Okay, here we go. Yeah.
Yes. And then the question is, but then you start thinking,
House always wins.
Is this Black Knight one remaining member of those original knights?
Is he the Joker?
He's how to play high card.
Oh, and Jim Rummy. Wow, this is really useful.
Because that means he's dominant over all the cards, you see. He decides what rules they play by.
And I assume this is like, yeah, that's kind of the case, because the Pinochle are like, we need to get as many cards back as possible before the coronation. It's like, oh, so you need to charge the king with as many cards powers as possible, but you don't necessarily need the full deck to work with. Okay.
Is it like, you know, if Bang Klondike can put a claim for it? Actually, you'll find I have 4 of a kind. Like I've got like no fucking full flush here, so I get to be the king.
If you have a better hand, or presumably just more fucking cards, like you'll do a better job of it. Yeah.
Meanwhile,
32 cards. So yeah.
Meanwhile, Chris is. They're both technically he's trying to track down the superhero who can move really fast, but Chris is the one who tracks him down, and then the superhero tries to recruit him to join a superhero team. So if you can catch me, becomes Mr. Try and Hit Me from the Yakuza games. If you can catch me, then you can join my team.
What was the superhero's name again? Was it like Senior Speed or something? No, you keep saying hello,
Sonic,
Senorita and stuff.
Sonic Youth? No, Sonic Wind.
yeah, that's it. It's basically the same name as the power it gives him.
But they end up
card? What card? I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And when he sees your man pull out the thing and do the gloves thing, he's like, "Oh, you're a superhero too. You can be my psychic." Yeah, that works out. So
they do end up working together when some work on the cathedral starts falling apart, and they have to go and save some humans and the cat. But then Chris gets crushed by falling masonry, and oh my goodness, his card isn't working properly.
It's so sort of half working, like it's glitching out, because it's just like, it's the blood is like erupting in a bubble of his gaping wounds. It's going back in again. Oh, it's coming back out again. Oh, it's going back in again. Oh, it's coming back out again. Oh, goodness.
So Finn convinces the superhero to take him to hospital, and then he comes back and says, "I've taken him to hospital," and then they immediately capture the superhero using VJ's powers.
See, that's the thing. Like, Finn basically goes like, "We were here to take this guy's powers. Should we take his powers? He seems all right. He's going about like helping people and shit. Like, I don't see why we should take his card. This guy's cool." And it's like, "Oh, is he using it for evil?" It's like, nope. He's just a guy who wants to be a superhero and is being cool about it.
Is Chelsea, who has like the at 30 not supposed you
hand
holding one, like, we're just gonna give her a job at the pub, and it's like when it comes down to it, ask for a car, because she's gonna get hauled off in a van now. With the current regime.
She's in danger based off of this thing, because Finn basically like, I will accede to the superhero saves my partner, my buddy, and then they're like, no, arrest the superhero, fucking take his shit, and Finn's like, dude, that's fucked. He just saved one of our own. It's like, our job is to grab the cards, fuck everything else,
then Leo tells him to go to the hospital to see Chris.
Yeah.
Because we know Leo's trying to be tough guy in charge, even though he's younger than everybody here. But at the same time, he's having to argue with Owen Aldays and his dad at the other end.
Yeah, I just want to be recognized in the family, please, or anything. Doing my best here. Like, I'm fucking 14 years old, got put in a part of a clandestine government hit squad.
And then
junior cert yet.
Who is exhausted from doing something to the Black Knight, who
you don't want to know.
In a room. Apparently, the Black Knight has been screaming for his card and has now calmed down. And they brought Zenon in, the weirdo we saw last episode, to apparently help handle this night. So more mystery there, but yeah.
A bit more intriguing, yeah. Actually, from proximity, then Zenon looks like a bit of Margaret Macaron. They're rocking a very similar style. Love the purple.
Yeah, because it feels like Tilt has some sort of. It feels like he's doing out of this some
obligation, confliction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to that, like, it's one of the things I forget sometimes. It can do a pretty fucking like gnarly scene. Remember from last season, there was we saw a dude's head get twisted off his body in front of a live audience, and then it's like, oh, it's seeing Chris is this like, there's fucking slashes and wounds have gone through him, and then the blood's kind of just like oozing, and then kind of like
not quite bursting out of him, not quite healing, made worse because it's neither.
It did not look right. It's like, oh yeah, you could do that sometimes. I appreciate it. It's a little like unsettled me in that manner.
Is High Card the only thing this season so far that has extreme body horror? Because that's one of the things it can do.
No, it's a wide open field here.
Yeah, that's true. We've yet to see him.
Then we got Buchigiri, episode 1, Merge, fall in love with Fortune Bang Bang Chicken.
Yum.
It's Aladdin, old in modern day.
His name is Arajin. We know what's going on. I think it's also a little.
The genie jokes about how that thing from like Japanese thing. It also sounds like Jin. You see, if you read it this way, pretty good, right? It's like,
I'm looking for a bunch of honkies. You a bunch of honkies.
So,
yeah.
Arajin Tomoshibi, they've moved. His family's moved. They got. He's going to transfer to a new school. The school is absolutely jam-packed with delinquents.
What I do like about this delinquent school, though, it's very colorful. It's really nice. Like
it is like Cromarty level absurdity, but there's a bit more personal style worked in there, the jackets and so forth. And you get opportunity. There's ladies there too.
Yeah,
like barely, mostly tough dudes, but yeah.
Yes, most of the women though are also delinquents, except perhaps
the girl by the window.
It turns out one of the leaders of the two main gangs in the school is Arajin's childhood friend, Matakara. Matakara has the vision of Arajin when they were younger, and he's like, "Oh my goodness, it's the toughest guy I know has come to my school. We got to get him."
My best friend who's twice the size of me.
Tall Adonis with a very kind face.
He was twice the size of you when you were kids. You had the growth spurt that he did not, like several times over. You're gigantic now. We do see him beat the shit out of a big guy at the start of this, but when that big guy goes back to the boss, the big guy goes, "Boss, I got beat up by the leader guy, but he seems really sound out. Like he's a really nice guy." that does seem to be the case
fuck
here.
Him.
Where like he's like, "Oh my god, it's my best childhood friend. We're not gonna bully you. You're cool. He's my favorite. He's my best friend." And that guy's his former best friend is constantly blowing him off and shit. And it's just like, why are you making me not like the main character show and like his rival, who just seems like a nice guy who is in a gang school?
Well, he
you know.
feels he feels insecure, you see, because well, one, yeah, he's in the delinquent school. But I thought, wow, I always had the memory of one being when I was a kid. Like I know I was like I was the head boy of one. I had somebody who was always like looking up to me, and
Yeah,
now
yeah.
here he is again. I'm literally looking up to him now because I got crane my neck to even look into his eyes, his beautiful eyes and this kind face. I gotta go. No, I'm definitely into ladies because this lady right here, she's like asking me after school and walk home after, and it's like, oh my goodness, it's all happening for me. She's definitely not like luring me into a honey trap where or Big Bird's gonna beat the shit out of me after school.
Before that, though, he gets debagged by a gang from a different school and runs through the town. We see there's a strip club called Yarn Night Love.
Where one of the teachers goes to drown his sorrows.
And he ends up hiding in a local shrine where he frees one of the honky people of legend. It turns out this could also be read as Majin, because it is a genie who offers him a wish, and his wish is that he wants to lose his virginity.
Like I did appreciate him running into the thing, like accidentally knocking over one of the things. There's a flintlock gun in it. He's like, "Back off, motherfuckers!" Like, what the fuck, dude? That's like some ancient fucking pirate ass gun. What the fuck do you think he's going to do? He fires it, but it bounces, shoots himself in the head. They're like, "We should leave. This is a bit ahead of our fucking school bullying thing we were trying to do on him. This is a little too rich for our blood." But the genie is in the bullet. Right? That's the lamp that he has to rob.
No, it was inside the gun.
So he shot a genie lamp into his brain, and the genie offers him the wish of.
And he's now permanently got this pellet stuck in his head. So he's now thinking, is this genie really here? Or have I given myself brain damage by accident?
Yeah, he's looking up imaginary friend on his phone because he's seeing people in public. Can you see this guy? And everyone's like, "Walk away, children. Do not fucking engage with the man." And he's like, "Okay, I've gone crazy. That's probably what's happening because there's no way a genie would allow me to wish for my to free myself from the shackles of virginity." Which the genie kind of goes like, "Hey, you wanna join up with this guy, this muscly boy?" And it's like, no, and it's like, no, I don't mean join like in a sexual way. I mean, that's another wish I can definitely grant, but I meant in a different way, but I haven't made that clear because I'm a weird genie.
No, get out of my head! I like girls. I'm meeting one right now. It's going great.
So then he goes on the date with Maharu, and then the brother, who's the leader of the other gang from the school, shows up riding a one of those children's.
Oh, like the fun
the little walking animal things, because all the rest of the students show up in those little they're like little go-karts, like children's go-karts, and it's like it's pretty menacing because they're all driving around.
Itasha things all done up, you know.
But your man your man rolling up asleep apparently on this like child very alpaca, slowly shuffling. I was going to say camel, but yeah, it's an alpaca. You're right.
Oh no, you're right. It's a camel. I've got it on here. Yes, because he's got two hubs. He's sitting between the two hubs. Yes. And this turns out to be her brother, and she's just seems to get off setting guys to get beaten up by her brother.
She likes seeing wimps get beat up by her gang leader brother. So the genie's like, this is another fucking wash. I'm gonna have to fucking try another guy. I'm just gonna float away. And your man's like, you fucking want to know my wish? You want to know my wish? It's like, oh, is he gonna wish for power? He's like, I wish to lose my virginity.
Want to get laid?
Good enough. I'll possess you. Motivation. Beat the shit out of this guy.
And it worked.
Yeah. This is so much fun. It's
very
it feels
silly.
Modern and old at the same time.
It's the color palette to it and the fashions.
Yes.
Everybody, like every character in this, like main cast, supporting cast, background characters, it's all so done up. Because this is Hiroko Utsumi. We have more from Skate to Infinity and Banana Fish and a few other kind of things in this vein, with gangs of lovely boys rumbling against each other. But they kind of do everything up to the nines. Like they got in fucking what's his face's like design team to do all the branding and loans and stuff for Skate, and did a similar job here. It's just even the town of it as well. I think this is from Yokohama, isn't it?
It is, because there's various things where I was going, oh, I know that from Like a Dragon.
it has this kind of vibe of saying, yeah, this is different from Tokyo kind of thing. And it's also traditionally, where a lot of the delinquent animes and manga stuff is usually set. Probably because it's a port town. You got that long drive along the coast. So you kind of blow off some steam after you've lost the fight. It's like, yeah, it will be kind of really hard and tough in the night. And while the main character definitely into girls, different like that. There's a lot of hunky boys. This Madakara just just working out here on the machine, and you're seeing the definition of every back muscle in there.
Some fucking delts on him. Yeah, and I like the fact that he's just nice to his underlings. His underling who set our Aladdin boy up for a fall is basically he gives him a dirty look, going like, "How dare you to my best friend?" He's not even going to beat him up or anything. It's just like, oh, this guy seems cool. Maybe he's going to do a turn into an asshole, but he just seems like a nice kid.
This seems to be a bit I wonder if they're going to be some thing coming down the line, because besides the Arabian Nights plays Aladdin overtures there, just from reminiscences of the genie dude to know his past and a person he know before us. It'd be kind of that old the red only blue only story is going to work in, because we used to fight, we used to kind of battle against each other, and red dude's all about the punches, but the other dude's all about the kicks, it seems.
Yes, and there's definitely a blue guy with his back to us on the poster art. Yeah, the ending is feels like a homage to those Koji Nanki Urusei Yatsura openings and closing animations.
Yeah, where everyone is in love with the main girl, that kind of thing.
Yes.
And funny costumes.
And the dancing loops and the sitting on the moon.
Again, fitting into that very kind of old school vibe, but yeah, in a new style. Yeah.
It's great. I mean, it's Mappa, so it may fall apart 8 episodes down the line, and we're going, oh my goodness, what are Mappa doing again? Even though we say that every season.
But they always make a thing that's beautiful, and then drop the ball.
Yeah, but not at this kind of cost. I definitely think that Roku Sumi one wants. I just wants to make some kind of fun cartoons, and that's palpable in this. But I don't want anybody fucking wrecking their body over it.
Then we've got. Definitely didn't wreck their body. Well, hopefully they didn't wreck their bodies over this. Meiji Gekin, 1874. This is where you got some more gore. Episode 1.
Oh my god, this is fucking mean. This is fucking mean. Cartoon.
This is a show. As I was watching it, it only comes alive when it's being sadistic.
Wait, is this the one I missed? Maybe it is.
It might have been, yeah. It's a kind of fun period drama, or 7 or 8 years after the Boshin War, when okay, well, that's it now, no more samurais. It's off for the Meiji era now, major restoration. We're going to be modernize this country, but there are still elements, fun lurking around who are fun wanting to try and bring back the time when we were on top, when the fun warrior class was in charge of everything. So this kind of is parallels stuff we watch in recent memory, Bakumatsu Bad Boys and things like that. So there was I think of it as well kind of Golden Kamuy, which kind of in the period sort of set after this, then not too far away.
Yeah, this definitely reminds me of this. Definitely has aspirations to be Golden Kamuy, was how I felt watching it, and it doesn't really meet it. The reason I was interested to begin with, the opening scene is violent, gory, mean-spirited, sadistic. Then when we get to our hero, so many years later, he's searching for his sister. I think that's, if I remember that correctly.
His fiance, who was his best friend's sister back in the war, who said, "No, I'm dying now. Please take care of my sister / your fiance."
So he's back in town with a different haircut, working as a rickshaw puller, and then the animation gets very boring. Particularly the animation of him pulling rickshaws. Very static. Then it will suddenly spring into action again when there's some sadism going on, when some other samurai are attacking. It's the guy who invented or modernized Japanese police force.
Yes.
I think is the guy who they're attacking.
I've definitely seen him in several different anime, I believe. Yeah.
So then he gets a bit violent. So then it gets boring again, and then I was like, "There's no point discussing it." And then some characters show up who are very much like, because so far it's been a historical period piece. Everybody's dressed historically to the times. There's characters from history in it, and then all of a sudden there's a bunch of characters who are like, "Hello, we're from anime." And
Doing
gets
what? A
weird.
colorful kimono and has long, kind of like violet hair, light violet, and an eye patch, and just walks into this. Otherwise, like it was like it's a gambling hall, and places his bets on, and he's one saying you're cheating, and then calls in like this fella's here. Well, just the biggest bunch of fucking weirdos you've seen,
Yes.
even outside of the confines of this particular episode and setting.
Yeah, so there's a big fat guy who moves really fast and fights with an umbrella. There's an old guy who basically blows hallucinogens onto the battlefield so people think he's turned into a Nue. And then there's a young woman who is dressed in green and attacks you with bows and arrows.
Yeah. Just the fun fact too is the fun thing. Oh, you should be the bruiser and fun and saying no, he's fun flying around and he has like this massive gut. It's weird. It's fun. Fun. Massive gut, and the upper body is somehow tiny. What are you eating? How do you get that way? And he has this fucking ridiculous haircut. It looks like a wig. Maybe it is. That I shouldn't take this character seriously at all. He's just like flying around throwing knives in the dude's throats. It's just okay. I didn't expect that out of you. Okay.
Then, meanwhile, Shizuma, our hero, has been mistakenly accused of the attack on the politician. And so he decides that he's going to find the real guy, clear his name. And he does. And then at the end of the episode, he's like, hey, you did a pretty good job of bringing this guy in. You want to join the police? Meanwhile, the British government have got a spy in the Japanese government. And
when you say that, like I'm picturing like the most stereotypical British guy with like a monocle and a mustache is like, yes, they'll never find me. Sips his tea. It's just like a really bad spy, but I assume it's actually a decent one.
No, it's a woman in a wig who is spying for them. And then meanwhile, he's torturing somebody with Russian roulette.
Okay.
At the British Embassy. And at the same time, I'm like, I know these are supposed to be slightly, definitely villainous, but I'm not sure they're actually the villains of the story. But overall, I would say it was an interesting thing to watch one episode of, and I'm not bothered about watching anymore because it doesn't look great.
So I won't catch up on it then.
Yeah, it's a solidly made thing, you know. It's I think it kind of balanced kind of well, like, you know, oh, this is going to be like, oh, I'm intrigued a bit by the actual structure of things and the kind of things swirling in the darkness. And then it's like frenetic bouts of, oh, yeah, his sword snapped in two, but he's going to use, like, you know, the fucking jagged end of it to tackle the dude and start fun digging it into his neck. Because it's like, oh, yeah, okay, fine, this guy's a scrapper.
It sounds like they need someone who's like an animator who's horny for, who in the same way the animators who are horny for sadism, they need someone who's horny for like rickshaw pulling. It's just like, oh, make that look really fucking sweet. Just really sell me on the rickshaw.
Horny for conversations as well, because there's a lot of
there's definitely animators horny for conversation, or maybe more writers, but still, yeah.
There's some like it's some nice, like, you know, even like how that the kind of dialogue flows. You know, I wish I kind of like was a bit more like to look at, but kind of seeing how it is, like, you know, how easy, like, you know, they forget about, oh, we're discussing things openly in front of the maids, discussing things properly in front of the Oirans and so forth, and you know, some of them are spies for foreign power. Some of them are the ones saying, oh, that's like the dude, that's the girl that he's been looking for all this time. And now she's privy to like hidden plots as well. And she doesn't know what to do with the information at all. People are getting caught up in things like that. And again, we all take something that sends us to the encyclopedia. It's like, you know, interesting parallels. Oh, well, I know how this dude gets assassinated. Or will he? How's it going to turn out this time? Probably not much time for other things.
No, that's the time.
That's the other thing.
Yeah. Then we've got Chibi Maruka-chan, episode 1419. Hiroshi longs to live in the countryside, and the Sakura family enters a marathon.
I
Yeah.
wasn't sure about jumping in on episode 1400.
How am I going to catch up on this? Well, I didn't even. Well, I got around to the first like part of it anyway. That's what I
Hmm.
did do.
So the first part is that the dad is hankering to move to the countryside. So they go and look at a house,
I
and
mean,
then
his wife is staunchly against it. It's like we're not moving to the fucking countryside, out in the sticks, away from all the shops. Fuck that. That's a load of bollocks. But it's like, but think about it. There's a farm up the road that makes fresh ice cream, and the kid's like, oh fuck yeah,
you can go
fucking having some of that.
fishing and play in the forest and everything like that. It's like, oh yeah, sounds cool. Let's go and visit this man selling his house, and he's precisely on the yacht with his wife because he did go fishing every day and go get ice cream and left all the fucking like actual work to her. So she's out of here.
Like the
So
dad
they
kind of
hook-
going like, wait, that's literally the thing my wife was saying that I would do. I wouldn't help her with the cooking or cleaning, and I'd just go fishing all fucking day. It's like, this is too real, too close to my
So-
marriage.
Baruko suggests that he should practice
Bit of role play.
apologizing to his wife.
We'll
Obviously
clean
not to
up the
me.
house.
I'm just a 9-year-old girl. Granddad,
Put on his apron.
yes.
You've got a lot of life experience, I think, is her logic, basically.
I'm sick of you. I'm leaving you now. What are you doing? I'm in character. All right? Okay. This is all I know about her from her, like, storming off in the car when we arrived earlier on. So I'm just go with this. And then look her in the eye and say what you want to say. Honey, and what can I say this to her? She walks in the door. It's like, what's going on? And
then the Sakura family decides to drive back home and never talk about moving to the countryside ever again.
It was kind of the thing. It's like, well, we fixed the guy's marriage, but like we didn't achieve anything else today, like from personal goals.
There's a bit in the middle where Mariko's in bed pondering if she'll ever grow up to be a proper adult.
No,
then,
based off of episode 1400, whatever the fuck. No, you never fucking will.
Will I grow up to be a stupid adult? And then we get like a self, because the gimmick of the thing is the idea is that the name of the character is the same as the pen name of the person who wrote the original comic, and the idea of the show is that it's comics that Maruko-chan herself has drawn, and Dwayne's frozen up again. So, but then we get this cut to of her as an adult with manga in one hand and sake in the other.
This is what success looks like.
Yes, of what a stupid adult will be, which I assume is just a straight self-portrait of the
author.
And then the second half is that the granddad has entered a marathon, which turns out to only be a kilometer run with the local old age association, and he was. Mariko is very encouraging, but she refuses to run alongside him to help him train. And then slowly, more and more of the old people drop out of the race, and so there's only half the people now. They don't have a proper race. So then the granddad essentially bribes the other members of the family to join him into racing.
Oh, your family can join you instead, yeah.
Of non-existent prizes that they all decide they're going to win. They start talking about all 6 of us. We're going to come top 6 and get all these prizes because these prizes don't exist. He's going to pay for them.
We'll this race up. We'll get it from every.
Just his imagination of his pension fund is like the envelope slowly having money taken out of it. Yeah. But it's grand. It called off for rain. He's like, oh fuck, thank God.
My pension's safe.
We're all healthier now, so it's win-win. So, all the practice we put in wasn't wasted.
Yes, but until this bribe was there, none of them were going to enter the race.
No. Actually, no. The ma'am did enter the race because she thought she was getting fat. Because her jacket wouldn't fit her or something. Her jacket that she was going to wear to go out and cheer them, but not actually go into the race. And it's like, it's a bit tight. Yeah, that was the only one. She wasn't bribed. She was threatened, I guess. Yeah.
And I think this is all taking place in 1974, from what I looked at the.
I mean, their TV still has the rabbit ears on it. I was just like, this is.
They have a landline telephone. That was the.
This is a brand new show, but it looks like it was made long fucking time ago.
Yeah, and I have to say, I was like, oh man, I wish I'd seen more of this more often, because I was like, I know it's because I'm Gen X. I'm 10 years younger than Marika-chan, I guess. But at the same time,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I know this is nostalgia from a different country, but it still feels nostalgic to me.
Man, families is families. I can see this being a British sitcom. It would make no fucking difference whatsoever. Yeah, it's just a bunch of families dicking about, and I was just like, yeah, works
Yeah.
quite well.
Like, it's interesting coming into this. Like, this has been like an energy I've known about for some time from being like in this enthusiasm for this long. But something I've very rarely, if ever, kind of dipped into or touched on. And saying, well, now here it is. Or they've brought it out in some way. You can kind of get to it more easily. And this is like, we're starting from here. And I can kind of see, like, even though this is like a newer, more recent version of this, and it's been this way sort of forever. And I can see where stuff like, from the Ribbon and even kind of feel it, but for something like I was getting Chimimo very similar to them as well. It's probably a bit down to the car design as well as like, for very kind of big heads, small bodies, and smiley faces. It's just like a bit of Chimimo fun. Now, Chimimo was a bit more debauched, and that's probably why I liked it like this. But I can see where it was drawn from with something like Marika-chan.
Yeah, the other big series from the author is Koji Koji, which is a bit more surreal. That's got people with kettles for heads, for example. Then we've got Sengoku Yuko, episode 2, Shakugan. Turns out that big monster is actually a girl who those priests turned into a monster.
Yep.
Listen, we were just taking it with spiritual power and seeing if we could turn them into like superhumans, but she turned into like a big flesh bear. So I mean, what are you gonna do? And it's like well,
a big
first we're gonna
baby.
stop her. And second, we're gonna kick your ass as soon as we solve this fucking problem. Yes. This is all this guy's fault.
That was actually kind of good. It's like, fun. I see you've taken care of that monster, fucking fun pair of twins that other dude. It's like, but just soon, next time we meet, gloves are off, all right? And just like, second part episode. Okay, those monks, just go fucking get them. Gloves are off, they say. Let's test that out.
And it's not even that he catches them by surprise. The monks are like, "Oh, we were fucking waiting." Like it doesn't piss around very long, so that is good. Yeah.
Yeah, because they're like, "Oh, we're not going to tell you where our temple is, but you can ask her when she wakes up. She'll tell you where our temple is." Yeah, it's they're envious of your boy because he's got a technique that they're aware of, but they've never seen.
We know the guy who trained you. That guy's crazy. We didn't even know he trained anyone. But fucking hell, okay.
Yeah. And they talk as well about like, this was like, the master of our fucking craft, Master Monks go around, he's fun, like was the basis of so many foundational techniques of this. And so you guys sit about a dude, big hat and a long kind of like windy, scraggly kind of beard. And then as you see in the Shakugan's little recollection there for a horrible home life in her hometown, fun saying, he's fucking there fun saying, "Hey kid, you want to be a monster? Show them what's for." It's like, you're not.
Or more so, "Hey nice kid, man, I bought you off your dad. Come with me if you want to fucking."
You're not a nice man, are you?
No.
I think that's a red herring from looking at the website.
Probably. But there's a bunch of weirdos with big beards, basically, is probably the thing you should take. Not one weirdo with a big beard. Yeah.
Yeah, so Jinka declares that he loves slapping these guys, so he's gonna have a great time. He needs to take more power from
Tama
this time, and so they have to go off and do it away from the others. So I don't know exactly what taking more power involved beyond the normal blood drinking that they do.
I hope we never find out.
Yep.
Yes.
It's definitely something that's a bit sexual, and I'm not okay with that.
Or that I was presuming that there's something like very kind of like kind of banal that you would only do it with your own family, but it doesn't look that kind of thing at all.
Yeah.
But this is anime we're talking about. So you have to have your fucking your shields up for this kind of thing. But again, I hope we never find out.
Yeah, and then goes in to fight the monks. The monks put up a fight. Cliffhanger. Carry on the fight next week.
I like appreciate he shows up, kicks a bunch of their ass, and then they have a whole like squad lined up to all fucking kamehameha him at exactly the same time. Is basically their plan. Good plan. Good plan.
Also, they got guns as well.
I mean, like one guy's got a gun. Yeah.
But like, dudes, monk the spears are gonna be fun in there, fun doing more stuff. No, he's kind of really leaning on that giant rock fist as well. Because that's just what you go for. And then it's like, oh, that's right. Gun. That's right. Not again into fun teaching says you can't use a gun. It didn't account for this back when they were written, so it's completely legal. Yeah, this one really good. It was fun. Drew me in a bit more. Than I was still intrigued and drawn in a bit from episodes like 1, but this is like it's like it's got its hooks in me now. I think having the opening too as well fun, saying here are all those like the freaks you're gonna see later on down the line, doing cool mysterious stuff. It looks pretty neat too. Yeah, it's got the hooks into me now. Fun, saying I like this dude's writing, like the things he is after, and it's like. It was giving me things as well as Tama and Jinka, they're operating on a different sort of set of like morals and ideals than maybe humanity at large.
They're also operating on a different set of ideals to each other, kind of thing. Your man just wants to beat up humans if he can fucking help it.
Well, it's all like in that it's like that same contrast was like I had with Undead Murder Farce, where this monstrous band are like they answer to a different authority than your mortal one, and. We're seeing up against that, even like different ones. And yeah, we're monks. We're totally into fucking the teachings of all everyone saying, yeah, but you'll do whatever you have, wherever you can have fucking like rationale or kind of reason out from that, in the name of fucking good, all is good and holy. And yeah,
and it initially seems like they might be cool because they're like, oh, you're the random guy who's with them is kind of like, is he gonna fuck you guys up because they're monster hunting monks and you guys are monsters? And they're like. Yeah, but they only fight like evil monsters. We haven't done anything, so they can't attack us. So, so it seems like, are these guys cool? And then they are definitely not cool because human experimentation is not cool.
So this is 1564 is where this is taking place. I guess this is the fictional supernatural equivalent of the Iko Iki at the time.
Yeah. Hey, is that century right? 15.
Yeah, 1564 is when this part of the story takes place.
Right.
Okay.
I get my century wrong, haven't I? Yeah, it was like 1400s. It was like when lava was happening. No, wait, no, 15, yeah, okay, yeah. It was like, I was thinking of, no, it went on longer than I or went back earlier than I sooner than I recall, but like, some of the events of it were like, not like the ones that get televised as much, it's
Yeah.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, so it's still a chance Nobunaga could show up.
That's some counting on, you see. Like, he's gotta show up, we know he's doing something cool somewhere.
Who sold the guns to the monks? Must have been Nobunaga.
Legendary from the horrible arms dealer.
They're fighting against the monks of this.
Death merchant.
Because the monks, they would be ruled over by samurai. I mean, how rude. Seems fairly reasonable, to be honest. Then we've got Metallic Rouge, episode 2, Wander in the Labyrinth, in which loads more characters show up. It's a much
so
more
much
lively
better
episode.
Yeah, it's so good. Like, it has the world dropping, like, oh, we're just sprinkling a little bit of world building. It's like, oh, check it out, children on this bus tour. That's an ancient war machine from when we fought the aliens, the bad aliens, not the good aliens who initially arrived. And 2 of the people on the bus are war veterans, and it's just like, oh, it's the character writing is filling into the little vagueness. I was like, yeah, this works quite well.
Yeah, essentially it's like a Western sort of wagon train or traveling across the country on train.
It's like I assume it's like a military vehicle that they've basically attached like a tour bus type situation onto the back of, because it's just like a thing on the back. The hodgepodgeness of it is quite nice.
It's just when shit goes wrong when they get attacked by the fucking PMC part with too. Is what I'm saying. It's just like fun. Driver warning, danger approaching. Driver. oh shit, that's me. I'm the driver. Oh, I'm not.
Because he's a bus driver. He's a literal bus driver. He's not fucking capable of this shit. Yeah.
Luckily, there's an old lady on board who's a much better driver than he is.
Did
Also,
you ever hear the
throughout,
Sonic lady?
Granny.
That was me.
throughout it though, because you now know the setup of the series, you're like, which one of these guys is their target? Which one is going to turn out to be the person who they come for?
Yeah, she's going around kind of sussing and saying we got Granny and 2 grandkids. We got the couple on
politician and his
holiday
wife
was like
and their
with their
bodyguards.
neon like bodyguard. We got mysterious shady dude in a trench coat in the back. Says he works with bodies. Oh, he's a doctor. Oh, I see. It's all right then.
I work with bodies. It's like that's probably not.
You could have
suspicious
phrased
at
that
all.
a bit different, a bit better, Doc. You know, it's just when we was tending to the wounded again. Now when the PMCs like ambush him, it's just like, oh, okay, that's what he meant. You could have just didn't tell people very much, I see.
Also, before all this starts, before the credits roll, we get introduced to Space Sherlock Holmes and Space Dr. Watson, who are coming to Mars to investigate.
And Mash is a robot this time. It's great. I was hearing it like
It's the
that's
same
Mash.
delivery, isn't it? Yeah, because
I mean,
I
like,
actually
that affectation is perfect for a robot as well.
I did watch those like back to back. No, I don't watch like an alphabetizing thing as well or whatever. Like it was just like, oh yeah, it's the same character.
He's like, yeah, this red individual killed this doctor who they say is a human, but I don't believe it's a human. Could be a Neon. Ash is this guy's name. Yeah.
His Neon partner doesn't believe him until the news report says it's like, hey, this fucking red robot has been spotted on Mars. It's like, okay, you were right to come to Mars. I guess your hunch has some fucking value to it after all.
Yeah, end up in this jungle. They run into a guy dressed like a pirate.
Like every time, because it introduced everyone on the bus. And it's just like, okay, and then this guy randomly shows up. It's like, yeah, that's an ancient war robot, and everyone's like, who the fuck are you?
No,
like,
hang
on.
You seem for a little bit. You seem for a little bit at the start. I think he was at the fucking station. You see him and saying, "Oh yeah, that's actually just in the character design."
But he's not on the bus. That's the important.
Yeah.
How did you get here?
No, I did see that dude. And say, why is he here now? And how did he get here? Was he just like hanging out to the bottom of it all the way? I'm not paying that fucking away.
Like, and again, like a lot of the character writing is like, not the first episode was good. Like it did make me go, yeah, I do want to watch more and see if it improves. And this was such an improvement because all the little bits were like, she won't share her Rouge won't share her chocolate with one of the children on the bus. So your one kind of goes like, all right, you mind the child and be like a responsible adult. Time to grow up. And she's like, all right, I'm gonna help you get a better photo than your brother got earlier. And that starts a whole mess of things, like the little kid taking a picture. Like all we need to do is not move. Because that war machine's activated, the kids just like click, 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 click with the flash on. And they're like, shit, okay, now we need to run the fuck out of here. Like it all kind of like leads into itself really well. Like the characters great playing off each other, even though a lot of them I assume are very incidental characters, like kids on a school bus kind of situation.
Yeah, and now I'm interchangeably going like, Rouge is like my little like sidekick here / like pet was just like, Rouge, Hops. No.
And she growls at her and everything. Yeah, and trying to dissuade the reporter from thinking they're suspicious. It's like, what are you guys going on the bus for? And it's like, we're here to fight bad guys, and it's like, we're history nerds. We're here to look up the war stuff because we're nerds about it. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the thing. I was like, oh, that's just like what I mentioned about one of the authors of this show is like clearly pouring that into this character. Yes, it's like it does a great job of like revealing all sorts of like what on earth has been going down on Mars with aliens called usurpers, and they've left these war machines behind, which are still activated. It's like this might not actually be important at all.
And humanity, with the help of the first aliens who were nice, made the Neans to fight off the usurpers.
Yes.
Is that the actual history, or is there something fucking missing? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Yeah.
Yes.
It also reinforces the thing. Oh yeah, you can tell a Neon because it obviously looks like a fucking like android, but lines on their face. Except for certain cases we've seen numerous examples of so far where they actually don't have that.
Yeah.
And the fact that this guy is like a war veteran, the bodyguard for the politician is a war veteran, as is the granny of the kids. And I was like, how fucking old do Nians live to be? Kind of thing. It's just like, hang on a second, that's a little different. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of hoping is if we're not going to like it doesn't feel like anyway with this episode was going to like follow down this whole thread of what all this means. Just one saying,
No.
no, here's this kind of you get the general idea. It's about this. Oh, it's about fucking robot oppression, and like it's other things there, and from they're traveling around, they're going to meet different people, and they're going to get a lot of different kind of views in it. So kind of like wanted kind of thing to kind of they go from kind of town to town. We're pursuing our targets here like that, and there'll be a longer thread, probably more associated with that. But I don't want this to be like it doesn't feel like it should be a fun thing. We gotta save all of Mars with this now. Fun thing. No. You're not gonna solve all these problems. All this stuff of fun with alien fucking invasions from like half a century going into that. No, stop with that. You're not going to cover that. This isn't what this thing is about. It's about fucking two women on the road, like two whole
taking
women
out
on the
all
road.
the different robots.
They got these guys in their fucking list and they're going to come get it.
Yeah,
don't think. I really hope it won't like try and become we gotta save all of Mars by the end of the fucking series of that fun thing. No, that's too much. And I think you better kind of be focusing in like this and just like you're kind of filling out deals on periphery before and keep it about what's the people in front of it that's happening to.
We'll see. I was just looking.
I hope not, but
because the organization. So it's like our two heroines. Who are they working for? Is the big question.
Yeah,
because they mentioned
like
this
they
group.
have their thing going on, but like, what's the bigger picture that they're a part of? Their pawns in, basically.
Yes, because they've sent Earth sent this detective to investigate this murder, and he's saying this group, Alethea, is covering it up, and they're involved in the.
They're involved in anything Neon. So obviously there's Neon involved. Yeah, it's not a human murder. There's a robot fucking involved in this because this organization only deals with the robot shit. So yeah.
So Alethea apparently is truth or disclosure in philosophy. This is why I'm saying this might have sort of a heightened sense of its own worth that we might get into later in the series.
That's the fucking danger of it because the director of this was director of Carol and Tuesday also, and that also was a thing that kind of fucking reached escape velocity of its own fun story and fun saying, well, this isn't just about kind of two young women who want to like climb the ladder of stardom. No, we gotta fucking save Mars as well. We gotta fucking do this with a concert for peace, man. As if I'm saying, stop.
Yeah,
stop. Yeah. Like music can change lives, but again, stop with this whole we gotta save the entire planet with music, man. Just give me a story again, this setting, like in this world, without having to be about the entirety of that world. That's too much to kind of take in, especially over a 13-episode run, wherever this is.
Then we've got Back to Earth. It's Bang Brave, Bang Braver. We'll keep both the bangs and like Crunchyroll. Episode
cowards,
1.
It's on the little title thing when it comes up, and they're clearly singing it. So fucking like, don't remove one of the bangs. Come on.
Episode 1, Wait's over, Asami, and episode 2, Asami, you'll be here soon, won't you, Asami? In which we are introduced to a science fiction, futuristic military story in the style of very much Top Gun, because it's a military exercise they're doing.
I was thinking Top Gun and Robot Jocks. That's the other one I was getting vibes from.
Because this is I've seen people say, it turns from a very serious real robot story to a super robot story. It's like, no, it turns from one sort of camp to a different sort of camp.
Yeah. It's when these things are there and they're both kind of grappling for screen time together.
No, I'm the plot. No, I'm the plot. Yeah.
No, well, episode 2 fun. As we've found, we've had like the different robots, the shinier, colorful one turn up and be rolling at attacks. In episode 2, as main character getting waterboarders. It's trying to
that
fucking
was such incongruity. Yeah.
Opposite ends. It's just like the fun rubbing, banging, and slapping into each other.
Yes, because Asami is the one who seems to be dragged into an anime, or by
I'm meant
else.
to be the kind of cool, smoldering hero. But now
So-
I'm getting ready to do this particular shit instead.
So basically, the first episode is mostly like war games with the United States and the Japan Defense Force, like doing war games initially, like working together, and then tomorrow we're going to be on opposing sides and they're just shooting paint guns at each other. It's played like they're actually in a war, but then it's like we were only doing a simulation. I'll see you guys tomorrow. It's like you did pretty good out there. It's like you got killed in action technically, so you don't get to fucking talk to me. It's like, oh, you got me there, guy. I'll buy you a beer. We're all cool.
Yes. So
Yeah.
essentially, the first part of episode 1 is we're introduced to what's Asami's other name? Because I can remember
I can remember
yes,
Asami.
I can
Yeah.
remember the
all time.
American pilot's name because it's the same name as somebody we know, Lewis Smith.
Like we've like anime namesakes. You guys his full name.
He does, yeah. I think that wins the
Mhm.
bingo. Anime name bingo for Lewis. Yes, Lewis
Mhm.
Smith, who's clearly instantly got a crush on Asami.
I mean, he's not the only one. But yeah. So Sammy's like the cool fucking got it together, but he's still a hotshot who goes out on his own. Whereas this guy's I'm the hotshot American. I do it in a big boisterous American way. But like me and you, we're simpatico, right? Sammy's like, yeah, whatever, man. I'll see you on the battlefield tomorrow. And it's like, ooh, that's a challenge. All right, here we go. And then they're invaded by aliens. And they're like, oh shit, fucking live ammo, fucking everyone get to it.
They got shields. We can't break through them. No.
We had contact with the rest of the world government for like a minute and then screaming and then no fucking radio contact. It's like, yeah, defend Hawaii from the aliens. That's what we got to do now. That's how it's
full
going out.
Independence Day on us.
And then a robot shows up who knows Asami's name and tells Asami to get inside him.
And Asami at this stage is like, he's been doing the thing of, oh shit, we're actually at war. I'm getting the actual shakes. I'm not sure I'm ready for real fucking combat. And I was like, trying to pull his fucking mates out of the mech. He's like, no, leave me, Asami. He's like, no, I can't do it. I can't run away. What do I do? And it's like a super robot shows up and is like, don't worry, Asami. I'm here to be your best friend. Now get inside me and shout all the attack names. That's very important to this whole thing.
Got crappy tunes. Bam, 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 bam. Braver.
Again, the theme tune playing and the fact that it's muffled inside the robot and the fact that Sammy goes like, what the fuck is that song? What's going on right now? Just good shit. Everyone else going like, what the fuck is happening? Like, because we were very real robots for like most of this episode, and all of a sudden a fucking maniac has shown up to destroy the fleet by himself.
It worked. Good.
So
we have a lot of meetings about this tomorrow.
Yeah, second episode opens on the war room where they're all like, all right, very serious things have happened. Aliens have invaded and we don't have contact with the world government, so we need to figure out. And Bravern's like, I'm Bravern and I'm here too.
Well, they're kind of going like, young man, can you explain yourself? You cut away. Was he like, the boardroom has been like the outer walls falling away. You just looking in like this.
Yes.
And because he's a giant robot and he's shouting at these humans, every time he says something, they're like, oh, Jesus, fucking just tone it down a second. Like Mr. And he's like, Bravern! It's like,
Bravern!
Yeah, okay. You don't have to scream your name every time. We can hear you. You're right fucking there.
And then like, no, the fucking the German contingent fun saying it's like going to fun saying, I don't know about this robot man, fun Austrian fun saying, hey, I can speak German too. I can hear what you're saying over there. It's like, oh, sorry.
I speak all world languages and scream them. But yeah,
Ich bin ein Berliner.
Meanwhile, Asami is undergoing enhanced interrogation techniques.
Tell us about the Bravern, motherfucker. What the fuck is that? Is this some secret Japanese superhero? He's like, I don't fucking... A crazy robot came and stuck me in him. I don't know what to tell you guys. It's like, all right, waterworm some more, boys. Yeah, and the contrast between that fucking stupid robot shouting at the boardroom meeting and him getting waterboarded. I was just like, fucking hell.
Then the robot telling the romantic story of how he met Asami.
Chapter 1. Yeah, yesterday we were there. Okay, you don't.
Oh, it was a long time for these serious military types. They were just slumped over the desks. It's just like,
Jesus, we have to deal with this fucking this shouty, talky robot. Okay, it's talking again. Fuck. Okay, well, I guess we have to listen. We have no choice. It's too loud.
And then Megatron shows up.
Superbia, which is a great name as well.
So they're going to get Asami because he can't fight him without Asami. Lewis tries to offer himself as a pilot. It's got to be Asami.
He's flush for
Lew-
Robo. It's like, oh.
Lewis breaks him out of waterboarding, goes like, "You can't waterboard him. We need him to get into Super Robot." Listen to the radio, and you just hear your man going, "Asami, where are you? I'm waiting here. I'm at the fight. Just come and get me."
I'm getting
Ow!
punched pretty hard right now. Ow! Ouch! Oh, I know you come though. Oh, my buttocks.
The lead waterboarding guy is like, I'm not sure the protocol here is that I'm just gonna fucking take this waterboarded man. And Asami's traumatized. Obviously, he's been waterboarded all fucking day. So and he doesn't want to get back in the robot Shinji. He doesn't fucking want to do any of that shit.
No.
So your man just like, Bravern, I will pilot you. And Bravern's like, oh no, I can't do it. It's got to be Asami. Sorry,
I gotta turn you down. I'm sorry. I'm very flattered, but I'm with
I'm
someone
taken.
right now.
I'm bespoken. And Asami getting in and it's like, what, a fucking big Bravern slash, and Bravern's like, no, that's not the attack we're doing. We're doing a different one. It's like, what's the functional difference? It's still like hit him with the sword. I don't fucking get it.
Yeah. Also, we see the big Raven emblem that appears when he's doing all his transformation.
Like a
That's
hologram
real.
behind
It's
him.
yes.
Oh, like
In the
theme's
credits in
playing.
episode 2, the theme song is credited to Braven himself because Braven is singing
Is he
it.
singing it? Yeah.
Yeah.
When Bravern leaves the meeting because they're being attacked again by the aliens, and he turns into like a spaceship, and they're like, "Did you know he could fucking do that?" Like everyone's just like, "This fucking robot we have to deal with. We have no fucking choice." It's
Like,
yeah.
Sammy as well. He has like, oh, I'm the cute girl mechanic, and I know my shit, fun. Don't you talk down to the old Miles? No, they just tune him up right. They're as good as anything on the market, even better perhaps. And it's just like fucking Hopper space plane robot, with fucking voice commands and fucking laser swords. It's just, that's pretty cool, actually. I don't know what to make of it.
Listen, I'm into real robots as a mechanic, but that shouty robot, that's pretty fucking cool. I do like that guy.
Raven has explained at this point that these invaders are called the Death Drives.
You say explained. He's screamed the plot at the guys, and it was like, so what is the deal with them? They're an artificial life form here to wipe out humanity. And it's like, so you're one of them? It's like, no, I'm a warrior of justice. And it's just like, all right, you really haven't told us what the fuck is happening right now, but fair enough.
But apparently there's like 6 of them across the planet. So this guy's called Superbia. Take care of him. They blow up Superbia, but then a disc flies out of Superbia when it blows up.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the episode, Lewis is going down the beach, pondering.
When they were all on the beach going like, wow, I can't believe we survived another day, and we only lost like a lot of people. Like we lost more people in that fight again. But like, hey, has anyone seen Asami? And I was like, he's not getting waterboarded again, is he?
I don't know.
Like, that's the worry.
He's stuck in the cockpit because his clothes have exploded.
Yeah, I was like, thank fucking God. That's embarrassing. But like, it's not as bad.
Yeah, there's one shot where Bob Creeb, the CIA guy, has a "oops, my mistake" face.
It is like, it goes out over the radio and everyone's saying, "Oh, the day is saved. Bravern was won." Everyone's going like, "Yeah," and you're just like, kind of like hands to the hips, going like, "We helped there. We let him go.
We stopped waterboarding him long enough to save the day." Good job, Oz.
It's like, okay, yes.
The general, I've forgotten the general's name, but he's kind of like, "Thank you, Braver." And where's Asami? And he's like, I'm not going to say it because it's embarrassing, but he is
having a moment.
So yeah, Lewis trips over a spawning turtle on the beach because it's it's Hawaii, it's all tropical and nice. And he's like, "Oh, sorry about that, turtle. Oh, you're a lady that popped out of that other robot, aren't you?" Shit. Fuck.
Sexy lady Galvatron. What are we gonna do?
Now, don't get too focused on the sexy lady Galvatron, because then we have the fucking end credits, and I was just like, "Is this the gayest thing I've ever fucking seen?" It's close. It's pretty fucking close. Like, because it was just like they're a bunch of lads, the 2 voice actors, singing the parts for the 2 boys on a stage in the rain. Their shirts are getting wet. Time to take off their shirts.
This is some of the tension and some of the feeling that one episode of the Marginal Service needed, because that also involved them shirtless in the rain together.
Yeah, and also was a Cygames show.
Yeah.
I'm really pondering.
This one leads into it fully. It's great.
Do I need to watch the Horse Girl anime? Is the question, because that is also Cygames.
Well, I despise like obvious things that might put you off, but I hear if you get into the rhythm of it, it is like a solidly made and surprising little series. I mean, it's a 3rd or 4th series of it now, and whatever many other spin-off things of it. So it's It makes
So,
some money.
yeah. We've
Hmm.
got Brave Bang Braver. We've enjoyed that. Marginal Service. Not up to Brave Bang Braver, but in
It's
theory,
doing particular weird things that not
yes.
all of our cartoons are doing. You know, it could have
Akiba Maid War.
executed it better, but yeah.
Yeah, we
Akiba
enjoyed
Maid
it
War,
overall, I would
also
say.
weird. Another weird original anime. Zombieland Saga. Another weird original anime. The two Ranger Bahamut's that we liked.
That was,
Mhm.
I mean, like, I didn't like how it ended, but overall, yeah, I did enjoy those.
Yeah, so I was like, "Ooh, I have to check the other things out. Am I missing out on something by not watching
Are we missing out on Horse Girl somehow? Is it actually?
Uma Musume?"
Well, I see a lot of these things like every mentor is like, you know, but they've got fucking interesting fucking character designs things in it. So they can't get what lures people in onto anything fun. When you see a trailer for something, character designs interesting in that. You see fucking like a mobile game tie-in, maybe the one of these user game fun. What user going, oh, it's kind of cool character design there. What's that all about? And it's just they can't get you in with that, and then it's like, once we have you, we can then take the risk of like. And we can't build like, you know, an intriguing story around that. Like, well, it's gonna be something like what you've seen before, but we're gonna have it 30% different. You know, we're gonna have some
Yes.
different kind of idea in there that we brought. It's kind of like what they should do with big franchise things, like what they try and do with fucking Marvel. Like, we're gonna get Oscar-winning director in to do our next fucking thing like that. We're not gonna let them do anything that they won the Oscar for. This is like what they approach everyone saying. We're gonna make him like have him do like a genre thing, but we brought them in because they have some kind of idea and want to get out there, and we'll have this like be the little container, the little framework they're gonna put into. As long as they have the musical number in the idol shows, as long as you have like the fun model kiss herself in the robot shows, you do whatever the hell you want. Okay.
Yeah, that's definitely. I mean, like that. I feel like that's worked out more good than bad, quite often. So yeah.
This is a keeper, like Bushigiri.
Yeah, this is one of the
Pretty much the
stupidest
same.
goddamn things I've ever borne witness to in recent
Yes.
memory, and I love it.
Oh, it's not. It isn't stupid that it's like this is dumb. They've done a bad job. It's like, oh, they know exactly what the fuck they did, and they've did it so fucking good. Like, yeah. When they call the thing gay, I'm not doing it in the it's like, oh, so gay, so crap. I mean, like shirtless dudes. We're gonna pan around his pecs and nipples for a bit, and then here's their hands touching tenderly in the rain and interlocking fingers. I was like, so you're just leaning fully on the fucking gay romance thing here. It's like, you're not even going for like the macho thing that when you go too macho, it goes homoeroticism a la Top Gun, that kind of thing. It's like, no, this is just straight up gay as
You
fuck.
leave that that braver and phrasing for and saying, Sammy, you gotta get inside me and release your power in there, okay? You gotta like really feel it, okay? It's like, no, stop, braver. Everyone can hear this over the comms,
Yeah.
and the next one parish over with the sound of your voice.
He does explain to the assembled generals how it feels in his pistons when Asami is inside him, and I'm just like, fucking hell, dude! Like, don't be subtle about it, Braver. And how do you really feel about the situation?
It's not the same, but the thing it reminded me the most of is Space Battleship Tiramisu. In terms
I
of
can see that.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. Yeah. But I think it's just like, again, this thing, the contrast between the realistic real robot show and some fucking lunatic who's shown up in it to just ruin the whole thing.
Well, see, we're smashing the melodrama of each other's conventions into each other at high speed.
Yes.
You see? We want to be like, you know, a serious war story, but we also want to like be a colorful fucking like transforming robot cartoon. And these things are in battle with each other now for supremacy. Let them fight.
Dear.
Then we've got the thing I didn't get time to watch this week because I was busy playing Baldur's Gate 3 times in one day. Finishing Baldur's Gate 3 times in one day. The Witch and the Beast, episode 2, The Witch's Pastime, opening act. So I guess this is the first part of a.
Oh, it's an opening act. It's a big lead in. There's like witch serial killer, spinning witch serial killer in the next like town over, and that's inevitably what I'm going to wind up. But it's a lot of kind of putting down time. Well, Gideon wants to get one. I gotta get on the witch case. Give us witch case for anybody orders and send it to witch cases. That's how we gotta do.
They give
jobs
us
they send us.
You joined us up, so they agreed to give us priority to the witch cases that would show up. But
when
in the meantime,
they come in.
When they come in, we have to do the bullshit magic jobs. Like, so, like they had to help an old lady's enchanted box. Not what you fucking think, you dirty might, or boxes enchanted clothes. And he's like, oh yeah, I can undo that for you. I'll take it back to the workshop, and bring it back to you tomorrow, and it'll be grand." And she's like, "Oh, thank you, young man."
Yeah.
And she's like,
Well,
"You said when you got that letter, you fucking said like, speak of the devil." And it's like that suggests that it was going to be a witch case. It's like, I didn't say it was going to be a witch case. I just used the turn of phrase incorrectly. Fuck you. And she's like, "As soon as we've hunted the witch that I want to hunt, I'm going to kill you first." And he's like, "I'd like to fucking see you try. Let's fucking go." So we got those partners working with, but then he does get the witch case, which is in black envelopes. You should have been paying attention. That's how we get witch cases. To the witch murderer of this town, where they only have one mage on the police force. So
it's from Detective Haynes. She's like a hard-bitten fucking veteran of this force. She watched her entire family burn down in the blaze some time ago. It's been haunting me ever since. It's like, no fun. Why we gas right here? Well, the witch got away, you know. We found multiple victims here with the fun, like, essence fucking, like, ripped off them, like, you know, from the whole lot drained off. But also the street has been kind of warped and from things has been turned over on fire. It's like, if you didn't finish up your wards, if it wouldn't have mattered if we would have gotten to anyway. But you insinuating if I had gotten here, like, you know, if I'd have finished, would have done something about it. Yeah, that's I thought you'd think.
Yeah, it's like, it's very much so. I'm sick of being the only mage on the force. My job is too hard. Like she's one fucking chain smoking away, but we already have a character who chain smokes, so she can't do that as well.
Yes, and here he is right now going, "Oh my goodness, which serial killer prowling the streets? One city lives in fear. Oh, cops are stumped. It's a real puzzle we got here." But he's just like, "What do you want, motherfucker?" And she just had a little thing with that shot. Well, I want to talk about this witch case. I did like the little touch for, like, you get the kind of like the wide shot right there, and behind her back to them, she's like starts to kind of trace in the air like an incantation. It's just like, you know, you can put that away.
Put that incantation away. And like, we're not here to fucking fight. We're here. We've been hired to help you out by the government and shit. And she's like, "Okay, I'm gonna take you to this restaurant. I'll buy you dinner. I'm only gonna have a fucking coffee." And she's kind of like, "I'll put the silence ward up after, so we can discuss this in private." And through that, they're trying to get she's trying to get information out of them, they're trying to get information out of her, but basically she gets them to answer everything by convincing them, it's like, "Oh, this isn't only a silence ward, this is also like a truth ward, so you guys can't fucking lie to me in this space." And it's like, "All right, I guess we better come clean then." It's like, I was bullshit and it wasn't a truth ward at all.
No one's that good.
And also I haven't told you jack shit about the fucking case, and they're all like, "Fuck, we look like real fucking assholes here." So yeah,
but see, I'll agree to work with you on this case. But
yeah,
it's obviously you kind of go keep it on my terms, though. You're coming in. I don't care. I don't care if you're gonna mayor vouching for you or not. I don't trust you.
Yeah. The fact that it's lent full police procedural is very much so my jam. That these guys have come in, and the local cop is like, "I don't like you, outsider." It's like, yeah, it's hitting a lot of buttons for genre stuff I like. And also, there's a witch, as far as I can tell, tearing people's hearts out through their fucking faces. So
yeah,
that's not
great. I'm just
pretty
looking
gnarly.
at that bit now. Yeah, I was like, I don't fancy kissing that witch so much as the last one.
No. And some of those bullshit jobs that they're doing up front, you know, one doesn't involve you got to wrangle this like eccentric billionaire's magical giant platypus that's run amok in the garden. You gotta take that in. But that job you mentioned as well, with the old lady with her little music box, and it's got a script in the bottom where we'll take care of this. But it lingers on her in the doorway. I think it zooms in a bit on what she's wearing around her neck. And I thought, is that going to come back again? This was one of those bullshit jobs. Doesn't mean anything. Will it mean something actually? Is that box actually fucking tied to something that's going to happen?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's a better job of kind of luring you with, like, there was no real mystery to the first episode, so it's like, well, it's obvious that, you know, this is how this is going to go. She seems good, she's actually bad. But, you know, this is kind of, I guess, going more slowly and trying to, like, you know, lure you in a little bit more, just like feed out little details. And they've got another person to play up as well. Like, you know, these two are here for their own set idea.
You have extra people, you take a little longer to fucking do it. You're actually having a better time with the world building, character building, all that stuff. Yeah, it's a lot more fun for it.
Yeah, and I think someone who's kind of a bit more au fait with the magical world of mages and witches and such like that, rather than the ingenue of the previous one. You know, she was very starry-eyed and had her dreams going on, and he's like, well, he's already been through like a lot of grief, and it's just like,
yeah,
something can kind of bounce up a bit more. Not get too cynical at all, but then They do, as you say, I do love a police procedural kind of thing. So.
That's the thing. When it's done right, it's very satisfying. So that, and they'll probably be punching a witch, kissing a witch, and then punching the shit out of that witch at some point. So
it was a fun, pretty cool move of the one saying, "Well, in this world, you can't lie to me," and then it's one saying, "Yeah, we can't find a witch who's gonna break a curse." It was like, fun saying, "Oh, sure, a ward that can kind of stop you from lying. No one's that good."
They just believe that the distraction magic as well as the literal fucking magic. Yeah.
Then we got Delicious in Dungeon, episode 3, Living Armor, in which Laos ponders, can you eat the very first monster who killed me? As his sword begins to fall apart.
Can I attain its power for myself by eating its heart and its
everyone's like,
body?
dude, you can't eat armor, it's made of metal. And he's like, what about the leather straps? And Senshi's like, the amount of time it take to cook fucking cured leather, you're better off just hunting a monster. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, even Senshi's like, you can't eat armor. No one can eat armor. That's crazy. You're crazy. Also, I forgot to look up who fucking directed this one because it's fucking gorgeous.
Oh, this is where like the kind of the triggerisms are more coming to the fore more obviously, and it just also surprised this is like a full length story for the episode, and we're seeing all sides of it, and they gotta fight lots of like suits of armor that have come to life.
Yeah, it's very much here are the good drawings episode. It's fantastic looking. So his sword's falling apart, and this is how it leads into this. Because he got this sword as a souvenir of when he first got killed by a living armor monster.
And it's just the decoration on the pommel. It's nothing. Thing is just like I just taped it on. I just tied it on. It wasn't sticking on though. I guess I lost at some point back the way. It's fine. It's fine.
So they go and look at the armors. They're all very more active than they normally are. They're guarding a door. So you think, oh, is there a wizard behind that door controlling them? Okay, you three distract the armors while I sneak in through that door, which they do. And turns out there's a
cooler suit of
stronger armor guarding an egg, which is on a shield.
Yeah, he's not using the shield to block. He's actually defending the shield, which makes him go, hang on a second. You're supposed to use the shield to block, not defend a shield.
So they're not being controlled by a wizard. So is there some other thing in there? Is there like a spider in there with really long legs all in there? Is it a slime? Is it a gelatinous?
Probably not a slime because they move so stiffly. Yeah, and he's like, and he was going through things of this is like, no, it's not living armor. They don't, it's magically controlled. They don't need to fucking do things. But he's putting all the pieces together. It's like, when you knock off their head, they pick out the helmet and they do turn to look at you.
So it's just mimicry.
Like, yeah, it's like, what's the fucking deal with it? Let me just steal its fucking head of this living armor, which is otherwise going to kick his fucking ass because it's like, what do you stab? It's made of armor.
Yeah, I really like it's just like like this is a food show, but we're saying this is like like observers' field notes in the wild of a natural. It's just like I'm observing this kind of creature and saying, well, based on this thing, the phone saying, oh, I say that must be its mating behavior. We're attacking with a sword. Oh god.
I remember you saying, Brian, the last day where they point out what everyone's good at in the party, and they don't point out what Les is good at. What he's good at is he's actually really fucking tough, and he's obsessed with monsters. Like, and that is also a hindrance as much as it is a boon. But you can see his obsession with it is just like trying to figure out the pieces of how does this monster work.
Yeah, the stuff about like how does this monster work is very much taken from not so much from D&D. There's a bit of it in the rule books, but from Dragon Magazine, where there was a regular the ecology of articles where they'd go into they'd be like a short story, and then it would go into like details of this is how this monster works. If you were so interested, and I never was.
It's exactly my shit, man. I gotta be honest with you.
I actually a cross section of Godzilla and or Gamera, and he's got like four like charts in there, one just for making fire especially and all that kind of thing. It's kind of neat.
Oh yeah, I mean if it was like that, I'd have been more interested. If it was like a comic, I'd have been interested. But it was always like some sort of
written prose and stuff. Sure.
Yeah, or just rubbish fantasy stories, which I fantasy fiction was not what brought me to D&D. So
right. I just
Mm.
mean like monster etymology or otherworld or
Yeah.
alien stuff. Where I'm just like, oh, how does that fucking work differently? That's interesting.
Well, it
Yeah.
could be kind of a very, very dry fucking like biological description, like one thing. Like
Yeah.
if you were about to dissect it in a fucking science classroom, it's like here's the bits you want to know about. One thing, no, not
Mhm.
really.
Anyway, it's
Can
a
I eat
mollusk.
it?
He grabs the helmet and then prizes it apart when he doesn't find anything inside it, and it's a shellfish that lives inside suits of armor.
The plates
Multiple
in between.
shellfish.
Mm.
It's so all of the armors are a colony of shellfish imitating armor, but obviously they're defending their eggs. And this is like he figures out the biggest one is the most beautiful set of armor, which is like I guess like the queen of the colony. It's still a colony itself, where all the shellfish are linking in between the joints to mimic muscle motion, essentially. But they
Yeah,
can
so
all
he's
only
distract-
work in
He
unison.
just throws
Yeah,
a shield out into the hallway
Yeah.
then, and the mob disperses. And then
yeah,
he can,
they all go to protect the shield.
tuck into the shelter his fucking his living armor now. See, I told him he could eat it. You call me mad, I tell you.
And I mean,
because
like
they
this was
make
very
him eat
gross
it
because
first.
I do hate mollusks. I do not want to eat them, so this was very gross for me. But I was also like, that is very interesting, and all the different ways you can cook it.
On a half shell, steamed ahead. Don't do that; it's very musty. Or frozen from Frozen, like Dwayne is right now.
Oh, his voice is back as well.
Yeah, I'll be back in a sec.
Yeah. Got a nice like stir fry stew, like it all looks very appealing. Like I suppose there are many different ways. It feels like one of those like fucking like seafood council lads. Here's the many different ways you can enjoy the prize of the sea. You can have it on the half shell. You can have it steamed. You can have it in a stir fry. It's like, oh yeah, it's pretty good.
So then he gets a replacement because he's broken his sword at this point fighting the armor. So he grabs another sword and then spots that it's got one of these mollusks living in it, and he decides to keep that secret from everybody else.
Keep it as a
He's
pet.
got a new friend. It's like the three of the members of the party didn't know they'd got a new companion.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. Yeah,
there's
that's
the
very
old
much
card.
so him. I mean, like, and it makes sense based off of the last episode where he wanted to take the seed from the man-eating plant with him. Is like, let's see if this grows on the surface. And Marcel was like, no, I'm setting that on fire immediately. He's like, I'm not going to tell anyone about my sword, friend. And it's like puts it away while its
I love him.
his little antenna eyeballs are kind of like poking out of the sword hilt and having a look around.
Look at him. He's
Yeah.
frightened. Like for an end-to-end one, like taking the two chapters about they, but they worked in stuff. There's like in the volumes and the kind of the Mac and the post bit. They'd have like it was like little kind of breakdown of a full 4-panel thing of that that chapter with that monster, and they kind of have extra details about like the morphology or the biology or the culinary kind of use of these things and stuff in there fun saying, like there's well, I see like occasionally like it's suits armor in a row and some of them are holding hands. I thought it was like Venture's like playing a prank, but maybe that's the amazing. That's all the extra little kind of things you can kind of like work in there. That's like all equally as amusing, and it helps to kind of have it towards the end. So you can kind of pack it in. It can change around a bit more rather than be a straight end to end like battle.
Yeah. It fills out a lot of the. I mean, like that's what a lot of those end chapter editions kind of do. They fill out a lot of the details, but you can fill out the episode with them as well.
Yeah, I'll tell you why this looks so great is because, well, it's multiple people, but the thing.
Okay.
What was the best thing we watched last year in terms of a single animation episode? It was episode 10 of Heavenly Delusion, wasn't it? This guy worked on this as well. It's Akihiro Sato is the animation, one of the animation directors on this. Ichigo Kano, I think, is the other one.
Yes.
And the director for this episode is
Kodai Nakano.
Yes, yeah.
And
storyboard.
The specific kind of a trigger sort of a kind of mainstay person.
So Kano is probably your leading person to point towards this looking great. Yeah, great episode. Absolutely great episode. Just so drawings. It's like when he opens the door and see you get the shot of the other three of them in a ridiculous position, fending off all the living armors.
Mm.
It's such a good visual gag.
I think
Can't
they
recommend-
really just probably can't go for it. I think this will also like allay some of the maybe concerns some of what everyone's saying. Oh, so it doesn't feel like Trigger's usual kind of do. Everyone's saying, well, fine, here it is. Here is fucking the things you've been looking for. Then, if you're not Africa, this not for you. Let's admit it. Like there are popular things out there they're not going to kind of get into, and that's fine. I've put many of those by the fucking roadside. So don't feel like knock off with the FOMO. If it's not for you, it's not for you. It's not going to work.
And this was a good place to save your up and coming people to fucking watch an animation kind of thing, because it's the idea that the living armor kind of like this herky jerky kind of movements of nearly mechanical but not quite, just slightly off. Like that's the thing you want animated really well as monsters go. So I assume like as we go through it, like one of the episodes we're going to get like really well animated is when they get to the fucking dragon. Like it's like that's going to be good. Like when it's a big important thing that is like that's going to be interesting visually, get your best boys on it. Yeah.
The person who wrote this episode was the guy who wrote Space Battleship Tiramisu.
It keeps coming back. Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah,
that's what I want to know. Oh, it's the theme of the week, huh?
Was this my favorite episode of the week? I think this is probably my favorite episode of the week.
There was some powerful stuff in there.
it's a
Like,
good
I liked how Bucci Gear came out the gate. It was fun, charming underneath. I think just for again getting the Tux into me more, Sengoku, Yoku, and Metallic Rouge are doing a good job at that as well. On a lower key, maybe like Witch and the Beast one that's kind of bubbling on it, but that's not next or near any of these ones. Or like
it's not going like the high energy stuff. Like I said, it's doing that like kind of slow burn procedural kind of stuff that I enjoy, but it's not like going as hard as like Bang Braver or anything. Like it's like nothing goes that hard. But
one thing we've not talked about yet, which is Undead Unluck episode 15. Under which the
forget the mainstays, yeah.
Not getting anywhere fast in this series. Turns out Rip has survived, but now he's a small child. He confirms that yes, I did die. I got better.
I got better and aged down. Don't worry, I won't be aged down for long. I'm explaining nothing. Nothing about that is going to be explained.
Here, catch. Here's a gun.
I got a present for you. It's a gun. It's just like
okay, I'm giving it to you, not firing at you. Oh wait, maybe I should have fired it because if you hold it, you get a terrifying vision of the apocalypse.
Don't worry. See that vision that you had? That was God destroying the world. Yeah. And notice that I used the fucking past tense there. Anyway, Andy's like, let me have a go. Oh, that's really fucked up. Yeah. Don't like looking at that. It's like, yep, that's who you're trying to fight. You should probably join up with us. We're just gonna live it large until God comes and wrecks everything. That's our plan in Under.
Like this shit's totally unfair, wouldn't you say? So we're gonna fucking fuck things up and do everything is fair for everybody after all. And then we'll die.
Yeah.
So then Shikara explains his tragic backstory.
He explains his tragic backstory after Rip leaves, and they was like, so no, we're gonna stick around and fight God. And Shikara's like, is that what the fuck I'm signing up for? Jesus.
But he's got not much left to hang around for. So
that's true. Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
And Andy decides to lighten the mood by tickling Fuko for an incredibly long amount of time.
Longer time than I expected.
A fetish amount of time? Who can say? Yes. No one could say. I mean, like
she was running out of breath. The actor by the end of it, like
she does a good job. Yeah, it's not the most realistic, like unable to stop laughing I've ever heard. But she was doing a great job of like, okay, I can hear you running out of breath. Just stop before you fucking actually faint from pretend laughing. But I mean, like that was. They kind of brought Fuko in because she was so excited to see a school. Because like I never went to school. She wasn't homeschooled. She was staying at home so she wouldn't murder anyone by accident.
Well, she also learned everything she knows about the real world from reading comics. So like, wow.
Which is a lot. Reading a school romance comic as well. So it's like this is her fetish material, and then the show's fetish material is you want to see her get tickled by Andy for an uncomfortable amount of time. Don't worry. We got
Yes,
you
I'm going to
covered.
guess that it was just a single panel in the comic and not multiple panels of her being tickled.
Nope, yeah, that's all it would be. Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny as a single panel. That's grand.
Yeah. Also, I think they're stretching time out because this was barely more than a chapter's worth of material.
Yeah,
This episode.
yeah.
So promising to begin with, and it's
It's hitting the
It's,
skids now, trying to move between things. Like, it's the whole. If we're comparing cruise ship arcs, I think Spy Family had you beat this year, lads. Because I thought that would have been like a similar. Oh, it's your first encounter with Under, the organization that is diametrically opposed to you. It's just like some cool bits, about 15 minutes worth across like 2 or 3 episodes.
yeah, and the only reason you pace yourself so slowly is to save yourself work, as opposed to because it's a good idea for the. Because it's not like there's not loads and loads of chapters.
See, that's the other thing. Like, it'd be one thing if
Not
you were
gonna
trying to
run out
pace
of
yourself. It's like,
chapters.
the comic's still going on. We can't really rush through it too quick. It was like it's going to be a while yet, but the comic is wrapping up. You know roughly how long you got, and you do have a fair fucking window between you catch anyway close up to it.
And
But,
like the opening and new opening and closing, not really as ambitious as the other opening and closing.
Not quite as banger of a song. Yeah.
So we just basically Chikara joins. He has everybody's memories wiped of his existence, and then we get another bit of time wasting as we go around the table and see everybody's around the table ready for Apocalypse to read the next challenges.
And the animation of opening the book they can do every time they do this comes in handy.
Yeah.
Again, the video game comparison where I was just like, yeah, this is a video game thing. It's like, here's the new missions. And I was just like, God, the loading screen's gotten really slow on this video game.
Change this.
Yeah.
Boy. Yeah. Well, there we go. So it's definitely got as far as I thought it was going to get. I guess we probably only got one more arc left based on its current pacing.
Based on its opening, it's just going to do the autumn. It's going to be this little encounter with Under this year coming up next, but then it's going to be like, oh yes, I'm just going to get the autumn bit of that, but looks to things. But I suppose there's a lot of fucking backstory to go through in that one as well. That's my hope would be like, this is like, good for like. What it does well is like the ugly crying. It was like an emotional bit, and you get the ugly crying fun saying, yeah, like this is like, you're the kind of selling it at that. I was hoped like with the kind of rate that's moving right now, it doesn't kind of rob a lot of the kind of emotion out of that when we get to those moments, because there's going to be some like real like touching bits coming up, at least even this next arc. So it's got to be able to land those.
Yeah. I'm hoping this is like a slowdown in the middle and that it picks up towards the end of where, like you say, probably autumn is what they're going to get to.
Yeah, but autumn is 52 chapters. It takes you to chapter 52. We're currently on chapter 30. I don't think they get into the end of autumn.
That'd be a mistake, like, because that's a nice, neat way to fucking.
That's where I thought they were going to end, because it's 52 chapters. And so you'd pace yourself. So
at the speed they've been going,
2 to 3.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but then that slow down. It's like, but the next arc is only like 6 chapters long, so
it's not that long. No, it's fun crossing over one.
Yeah. Anyway, let's find out how it goes, and then maybe not to come back for a second season. It may not get a second season. That is also a possibility.
That would be unfortunate. I mean, like, I'm still loving the comic and everything, so it doesn't detract from the original.
It's got great stuff to draw from. It's kind of fucking front loaded. It feels like now, isn't it?
Yeah. It does. It's not given the comic a massive boost in sales, unlike, say, the Delicious in Dungeon anime, which seems to have got people to go out and buy the first few volumes in Japan of the comic. So
like the only reason I haven't finished it is I'm slowly savoring it. Why am I using food metaphors? I've got like 3 volumes left of it, and I'm just like, let me just take my time, because if I know if I start one, I'm gonna fucking finish the entire fucking thing.
Oh well. So next week, let me try and. So Akuma-kun, we come into. Let's not count. I'm not going to count that in the things I'm watching. Nor Detective
It's
Conan.
almost done. It's almost
Yeah,
done.
So-
it's if we wanted, we could finish it whenever the fuck we wanted, but we're taking our time with it for the laugh.
Let's say I'm going to go Mashal, High Card, Buchigiri, Bang Brave, Bang Bravern,
Yeah.
Metallic Rouge,
Mhm.
and then Delicious Dungeon. I might stop watching Undead Unluck.
Fuck, man.
That's
Yeah.
6. That's 6. That might be enough. Particularly because my events have been
yeah.
confirmed for Kittikon. I could start working on them super early.
It would want to straighten up and fly right for sure.
I'm gonna give it another shot, but yeah, it's not been doing great recently. And I'll probably stick with the Witch and the Beast because it's just kind of getting to my jam at this
That'll
stage.
be the one I keep on to the last because it's just like if I get around to that, cool. But that means probably even by the nature of it, it's going to have the different cases here. They're going to go across 3 episodes and saying, "No, fine." When I get around to it, you can just go, bish bash bosh, and cover the whole thing. That's again, I'll be the one to kind of keep.
That'll be like at the cutting point,
at arm's length.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, because if you think I've been missing things since I've been playing Baldur's Gate 3, boy, I'm going to be struggling to watch things playing Infinite Wealth come Friday. The draw to hang out with my boys in Hawaii and Yokohama is going to be irresistible. Yeah, so I suspect I'll still end up watching more than what I just said.
Oh, you'll crack.
I mean, like a Canon Cone will come along, a particularly nice One Piece will come along. Besides actual new things starting, like things will catch you probably.
Yeah, well,
when we feel like it, we have like the cartoon of the proto One Piece one shot.
That's true.
I will say because that's what that. Yeah, we could do that next week because that came out this past week. So.
Yeah, and I'll be seeing a film on Friday. I'll talk a little bit about that too.
Okay.
Blue Giant is the Blue Giant showing in the cinema the next talent over me. With a Q&A with Yuzo Tachikawa, the director. So if you got any questions for him, let me know.
Shout out Niall.
Yeah, I will say that it is easy to watch the One Piece anime now. It's streaming on Netflix. That is more convenient.
Oh, because you don't have to scroll past like hundreds of episodes
also,
get to a part of Wano.
Yeah. The streaming software works. It's reliable.
Yeah. It's just like when I put Crunchyroll up on the telly, it's just like fun. When it's fucking like 50-50, it just keeps at a consistent rate.
But yeah, certainly fascinating. But they've got Egghead Island. We'll see whether they fill in the back stuff later. Because it does feel like they've gone all in on Ishiro Oda, which makes me wonder how much money did they give him.
It's kind of just One Piece now,
lads.
You
give him more money at this stage. He has a lot of money, yeah. So,
like you've literally already kind of gone through his novel back catalog and been putting him in a cartoon of it. So that's all he has, lads. It's all he has done for the last 20+ years.
That's why they're going to make it again.
I guess, yeah. That's the other thing.
But better this time. We'll make it right.
Well, I suspect my guess is they're probably going to do it in the same format as Pluto.
Like in a
yeah, East Blue Saga 1 hour episodes.
But they literally just did that.
Yes, and they did that with the live action. But that's such a hit. Why not do it again?
Yep, keep doing it. Keep serving it up.
Just do One Piece.
Swallow it down, you pigs.
I'm for it. I think you should just let as many people as you possibly can make their version of One Piece.
Have an episode where the animation shot changes every 30 seconds.
Yes. Yeah, like that episodes of Bob's Burgers.
I was thinking like do they let the Boichi One Piece chapter and the Food Wars guy One Piece chapters and that it's just like we'll just get different lads in. It'll be great.
I'm sure they'll get around to be animated at some point as well. Those Ace novels, they'll get animated at some point.
We're
just digging the knife into the peanut butter jar right there. Getting all that, all the little crumbs.
Yep. Right, that's it for this week. We're back with a little bit less next week, but still far too much. Enough for now.
Bye.
Bon appetit.